Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to dive into a technology that sounds like it's straight out of science fiction, but I promise you, it is very, very real. Microbial fuel cells. It's this incredible new way to get clean energy from sources you would never expect, and it all starts with one simple but really powerful question.
Just think about that for a second. What if everything we throw away, from sewage to the runoff from a brewery, what if that could be turned into clean, sustainable electricity? It's a mind-bending idea, and it's really the core promise of the tech we're going to explore today. So what in the world is a microbial fuel cell, or an MFC? Well, the easiest way to think about it is like a living battery. You've got these special bacteria inside, and they do what bacteria do best. They eat organic waste. But here's the magic. As they digest all that gunk, they release electrons. And we can capture those electrons as a direct electrical current. No burning, no smoke, nothing. Just clean power from tiny microbes doing their thing.
Now look, this isn't just some theory cooked up in a lab somewhere. The amazing thing is, this technology is already out there, in the real world, proving that it can work in all sorts of challenging places. This is where the whole concept really comes to life. Let's start with this number. Half a watt. Okay, I know. That doesn't sound like a ton of power, right? But in a pilot project in Ghana, that half watt was generated purely from the waste in local latrines, and it was more than enough to power lights, which is absolutely crucial for safety and just basic utility in an off-grid community. It's a perfect example of small power making a huge, life-changing difference. And it's not just about human waste. In a totally different setup, scientists have embedded these fuel cells right into riverbeds. Can you picture that? The microbes in the sediment just continuously munch on whatever organic matter floats by, and they create this steady stream of power, up to 50 milliwatts per square meter. That's perfect for running remote environmental sensors for years on end, without ever needing a battery change. And this just shows you how flexible this tech is. Look at this. Whether it's high-energy brewery waste, or the slow and steady power from river mud, or a community latrine, MFCs are showing they can generate power pretty much anywhere there's waste. The output might change, sure, but the basic principle holds up. It just works.
Okay, so we know it works. The next big question, the huge challenge that scientists and engineers are wrestling with right now is how do we scale this up? How do we go from lighting one little bulb to powering entire systems?
The path to getting bigger is actually pretty straightforward. You start by perfecting one single fuel cell unit in the lab. Then, you start making these modular stacks. Think of them like Lego bricks of fuel cells that you can connect together to get more and more power. And the final goal? To integrate these huge stacks right into our existing infrastructure, like city wastewater treatment plants.
So where could this scaled-up tech have the biggest impact? Well, 3 areas really jump out. First, completely changing how we do wastewater treatment. Second, providing reliable, off-grid power to remote villages and sensor networks. And third, something really cool, creating these ultra-sensitive biosensors that can actually detect tiny amounts of toxins in water.
And here's where the scale gets just mind-blowing. If you integrate these MFCs into a big municipal wastewater treatment plant, some estimates suggest the plant could become a net positive power producer. We're talking generating between 1 and 10 kilowatts of clean energy. It wouldn't just be treating our water anymore, it would actually be helping to power our cities.
But to hit that kind of scale, you need more power from each cell. And that's where the most exciting research is happening right now. Scientists are fundamentally redesigning the components and even the microbes themselves to unlock a whole new level of performance.
A huge part of this is improving the materials. The anode, that's the part where the bacteria live and hand off their electrons. Standard ones are just made of simple carbon materials. But the next generation, we're talking advanced nanomaterials like graphene or these super intricate 3D printed structures that give the bacteria way more surface area to hang out on. And the results from using these new materials? They're staggering. By tweaking an anode with graphene, researchers boosted the power density to 5 watts per square meter. Now, remember that riverbed sensor producing 50 milliwatts? This is 100 times more powerful. This isn't just a small step up, it's a massive, game-changing leap in efficiency. But why stop with better materials, right? Scientists are now going straight to the source, the microbes. Using tools like CRISPR, they can actually edit the bacteria's genes to make them better at producing electricity.
They're even designing totally new superpowered microbes from the ground up and building hybrid systems that can pump out both electricity and clean hydrogen fuel at the same time.
So let's pull all of this together for a second. We've got a concept that we know works. We have a clear roadmap for how to scale it up, and we have these incredible breakthroughs that are just shattering what we thought was possible. So what does all this add up to? Well, it points to a truly sustainable bioelectric future.
At the end of the day, this is the revolution in a nutshell. Microbial fuel cells deliver on this one simple, incredibly powerful promise, turning the stuff we throw away into clean, renewable energy. It really represents a fundamental shift in how we think about the relationship between our cities and the natural world.
So let's just quickly recap this whole journey. We saw that this tech already works out in the real world, right now. We know that scaling it up is the next big hurdle. But we also saw that these amazing breakthroughs in both materials and biology are making progress happen faster than ever. And it's all pointing in one direction, toward a sustainable bioelectric world.
And you know, this future isn't some distant dream. It's being built, piece by piece, in labs and field tests all over the world as we speak. It's empowering us to completely rethink waste and energy. So the only question left is, how are you going to be a part of it? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer.